Hi everybody, welcome back to my next floss tube, which is floss tube number 6. I've got a few piles of things around me, a bit of stitching, a bit of slow stitching, new antique sampler, so hopefully there's lots of things that you'll be interested in having a look at. Thanks to everyone who's watched my videos so far and given me such lovely comments, and yeah, it's really nice, thank you, appreciate that, and welcome to anybody who's new. I'm in Dunedin in the bottom of the South Island of New Zealand. So what do I start with? I'll start with my cross stitching, seeing as we're here for a floss tube and glasses on. This time round, since I did my last filming, I have a finish, an FO. I was explaining to my children some of the cross stitch acronyms yesterday, so yeah. This one was my red travel sampler, so I've stitched on this in Sydney, Melbourne, Blenheim, Queenstown, Invercargill, and finally got it finished in Queenstown last week. Sorry, it's not ironed. I'm not a great cross ironer of my cross stitches until they need framed. So yeah, I enjoyed doing this wee one. It's from the Blackbird Designs Ooh La La book called Moncherie Louise, I think it is. Yeah, Marcherie Louise. Oh, sorry, bit of chart there. My bookmark. Cover that up. There's the name there. Yeah, from the Ooh La La book. And I stitched it in this lovely red from Cottage Garden Threads called Bronte. I just love it. It's just got a slight, I don't want it to come up on the camera, just a slight variegation anyway. So yeah, that's my finish. Sorry, my son was just talking to me through the window. So I'm not sure if I'll get that framed at the moment. I did actually get some antique frames, just to go a wee bit off script here. Some antique frames in the weekend, and got this lovely one, black one with the gold around it. And if I can hang this up, okay. I think it might sort of fit in there, so that's my idea anyway. Whether or not I can get a framer to use that frame or not is another story. While I've got that here, this is the other wee one I got in the weekend, which I thought was beautiful. I love the top of it, and so that would take a nice little tiny sampler, or even like a floral bouquet or something. But I thought that was lovely. So that's that one. The other things I've been stitching on is my daily stitch, which is in this vinyl fronted bag that I've made with sort of a gold pattern, cross stitch pattern piece on the back. I think that's a Kathy Holden fabric. So I've made a bit of progress on Antoinette, so she's my daily stitch. And I do a letter a day at the moment. I'm trying to kind of do 2 or 3 letters a day, because my hands are quite dry, and stitching with the silk gets a bit trying at times. So I've actually done everything from here down, and my pattern, the way I've got it folded at the moment, is folded into 3. So I'm trying to do 1, 2, 3, and by the time I get here I'll be done. So I definitely did the first lot of the pattern, so I'll just carry on over, and it's just all alphabet from here, and I don't think there's any other motifs or anything to go. So she's quite big. I'll just see if I can hold her. She's a pattern from Sabine at Dutch Sampler, European Reproductions, that's what I want to say, European Reproductions. So yeah, I'll need a big frame for that one. But I'm hoping within the next couple of months I'll get Antoinette finished. And my plan after that is to get out Charlotte Warrington and Charlotte Warrington can become my daily stitch. I haven't stitched on her for a wee while. She was my leap year stitch, so it would be nice to get her out. Another vinyl front bag that I made myself. That beautiful green fabric. I think I got that in Japan on the back. And then this one is Mary Peacock. And she was my Sampler September. There's her pattern, her picture. Sampler September piece, but Mary and I weren't great friends in Sampler September, I must say. Partly because I got the flu a couple of weeks ago, and counting was just too hard. So here's my progress on Mary Peacock. What I got done, I think maybe I'd started this motif. I definitely got this one done, and I started this ghosty one here, and then I did a bit of work over here on a tree that, sorry, thread's still work in progress. Did a wee bit on that tree. It's got a bird that sort of goes in this part of the motif. So yeah, I'd hoped for a little bit more progress on Mary, but anyway, she'll still be there. I'll get back to her one day. And my other stitch, which I sort of went to when and this is a bag that I've made myself too. Actually, I'll take everything out and see the inside. This is a Prairie Schooler centre. I just needed some easy stitching when I got the flu, so you parked up on the couch all day coughing. This was a quilt block that I did a few years ago. What's the name of the lady's name? Janet Clare, I think is her name. And it was a Quilt As You Go project that I did with her, and I did some of the blocks, and then see, it goes up to there. And yeah, that was as far as I was going to go. So I've got a few of these blocks that I've been going to turn into something else, and this one was a project bag. So get everything back in there. I can show you which centre I'm doing. So this, I think, is the 1986 centre, this one up in the top corner here. So it was an easy border, and just actually I quite enjoyed it. It's a little bit like comfort stitching, to go back to a Prairie Schooler centre. Oops, slipping off the chair there. So centre has a head and centre has feet, and just filling in the rest of them now. But it was good easy border stitching, and so yeah, I quite enjoyed that. Get that done. I've got 5 of those done now, another 40 to go. So that's really all that I actually stitched on, other than a bit of slow stitching, and I'll get onto that at the end of the video, for people who don't really want to watch what I'm slow stitching. In the way of haul, I got a few bits and pieces of doilies and things. Oh, my mind can't think today. Doilies and things from op shops, and rescued a few things, but the one thing was this lovely cross stitch piece here, which is, I'm not familiar with the pattern. Others might be. I imagine it has some inscription in the middle there, and it's not quite finished down the bottom here. But I thought that was lovely. I might be able to do something with that at some stage. So I got that in an op shop at Winton the other day when I was out there. It's on an Ada, but it's a really soft Ada actually. It's nice. And the other thing I picked up out there was this, if I can get it right without the glare on it. It's quite a lovely sunny morning here in Dunedin, so it's a bit of sun coming in. Is this lovely long and short stitch piece. It's done on a nice linen. And the stitches are so neat, they're beautiful. So I've got a spot for that on my wall over here. Sorry, see my house. On my wall over here. So yeah, I thought that was really nice. And I've got a couple of books here that one I picked up in the op shop in Invercargill last week, which I was quite excited to. And Zeb, these might be good ones. I know you said that you were looking for sampler books. These ones are quite good. So these are from the Just Cross Stitch magazine. Put out these books, and I assume this is number 1. I've been looking for number 1, and I'm pretty sure this is. But normally they're a hardcover book, and this is a soft cover book. So I love that one there with the moon on the top and the wee house. Thought they were nice. And then there's one at the front. Where is it gone? Oh, lots of chart, lots of pattern around it. Let's just cover that up. I did like that little basket of flowers there. Thought that was really pretty. And that's something that will go in that little frame that I showed you before. I liked the idea of that. And that sampler that's on the front is in there as well. I think there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 samplers in there. So I think that's number 1. That was only a couple of dollars. And then this is the second book, and it's a hardcover, and it has some lovely things in it as well. And that's why I expected to be number 1, the first book to be a hardcover as well, but I can't see anywhere where it says on that book whether it's number 1. There's a lot of historical information in here. There's a lovely casket you can stitch as well. I'm just trying to find one of the lovely samplers to show you where I'm not showing you the pattern. Again, lots of pages of bits of history of samplers in them as well. There's a Quaker one up the top there, like Mary Peacock. There's one of the lovely. Oh, that one's beautiful. So these are good books, Zeb, if you're looking around the op shops. Often I see number 2, but I've never seen number 1, so keep hunting for that. And one of the other books I got this month, which is heavy, is this book on Tennessee samplers. This is the second one that got sent to me. It's just a new book. So there's one of these floating around somewhere between here and wherever they came from. Just trying to say Knoxville, I think it is. University of Tennessee Press. So much information, so many pages of samplers. So yeah, I don't know, but it's a shame that the other one didn't get sent to me. I always feel bad when companies replace a book or something. Just beautiful, some of the things in here. So it's a good reference book. Lots of lovely things. So that might be an interesting one for you to get too, Zeb. I don't think it was too expensive, and the postage wasn't too bad. So, and they were great, really kind of them actually to send me another book. So that's my box. I love my books. And now I've got a new antique sampler actually that I got in the weekend. This is Alan Jepson 1823. And there was a local auction house who have brought in a container, maybe 2 containers, given what they had. And they set up down, for anyone in Dunedin, on the one way where Galaxy Books used to be. And they've set up, it's such a great way they've set it up. They've got like 3 rooms, beautiful pieces. Prices were really good, I thought. And so I asked if they had any needlework, any samplers, and this was the only one, and I thought she was really sweet. There's a sticker on the back, says it's framed in Chichester, West Sussex. So recently framed because it's got the metal bits on for the string. But yeah, she's simple and nice and in green, and I don't know that I've really seen one of these wee marking samplers done in green. So I thought she was a nice addition to my sampler collection. The other one I've got here is one that I've stitched, and this is a New Zealand sampler. Actually, probably right, too much glare. There we go. So this is Gwen Morrison, and Gwen lived here in Dunedin and Castle Street, which for anyone who doesn't know is down by the university, of Otago here. It's kind of a notorious street now because it's where a lot of the students flat and where there's a lot of trouble and couch burnings and riots. I remember when I came up to university there was a lot of issues. Lots of issues at the moment with students falling off roofs down there, and yeah, it's just a iconic sort of street, always covered in glass and lots of problems down there. I'm sure it wasn't like that when Gwen lived there though. So this was reproduced, this particular sampler is in Te Papa, and it was reproduced for, I think, the first cross stitch Facebook group retreat that they had, and I didn't go to that retreat, but I was kind enough to be given a pattern. Someone had 2 of them, so yeah, I've stitched that up. I thought it was appropriate that I was in Dunedin and this was a Dunedin sampler. Te Papa are really good. They've also got some other information on Gwen, or Gwendolyn, as she was. And I printed out a picture that they had on their website. So that was her there. And unfortunately, Gwen died in January 1920 from influenza when she was 20 years old, not long after her brother Leonard had returned to New Zealand after serving in Europe in the First World War. Her death came only a year after the terrible influenza pandemic that struck New Zealand between October and December 1918, killing thousands. New Zealand lost about half as many people to influenza as it had in the whole of the First World War. So that was a shame that she only got to 20, but it's nice that her sampler lives on and is still at Te Papa. So that's a photo also from the Te Papa website of her and her brother Leonard when they were young. She looks maybe about 8, 7, 8, quite young. So yeah, it's nice to have that sampler and also know a little bit about it. Yeah, nothing else really on there other than their information. So that's kind of been it cross stitch wise for me. I've done my mini quilt for the month, and the theme for this one was Te Vaivai, and Te Vaivai is the Cook Island. These are the Cook Island quilts, and they have a special method for these stitches and how they cut out their patterns. And to be fair, Catherine calls it humbled. I was quite humbled learning this new way to do a blanket stitch, and just learning about how they did them. There's so much more to them than I ever thought there was. So yeah, I enjoyed doing this. So if you can't tell, this is a hibiscus. Often their quilts are done with plain backgrounds. Well, most of them are plain backgrounds, plain cotton, and really big, lot of floral representation of their native plants and things, lots of leaves, and yeah, I enjoyed that. And they use a lot of variegated threads too, so I've used a variegated thread in the middle there when I've done this fly stitch, and around the edge here with a twisted blanket stitch. And both of those are threads that I got when I was in the Cook Islands a long time ago, 10, 12, 13 years ago, maybe more, 15 years ago. So it was nice to finally be able to use those. So that's my mini quilt, and the theme coming up for this month coming fast, October, is stars. So I sort of started thinking about that one last night, and yeah. So my other stitching has all been slow stitching. If you don't like slow stitching, then you might want to stop the video now. I'll show you some of my doilies and things that I got at the op shops in this cute tin, because it is so gorgeous. Love this wee tin here. And this was Huntley and Palmer's Ice Biscuits for Children. It's just gorgeous. She was a British illustrator and writer and author. This lady that did it. Cute. Very cute. So I finally found this month doilies with birds. They're a little bit hard to come by here. So this was a whole set of 2 of these, a couple of bigger tray cloths, and then I think there might be a small rectangular tablecloth. So that was quite exciting to find. This one was a find from Catherine, and she's kindly given me half with these lovely, but I think they're probably budgies, looks like budgie colours. So yeah, that was lovely. And then this one I found in Invercargill last week when I was there, the end of last week. That lovely bird. And I think that's kind of it for birds, but since just some ones with lovely wee embroidery on them. Beautiful colours. I just feel like a good doily and good embroidery. These are lovely. Look at these tulips. It's gorgeous. Love this one. I've loved a couple of those, but just that one. And then I've got this beautiful apron that I found. The gorgeous fabric in that. I always look at the pile of aprons and see what I can find. This feels like it's never actually even been used. Whether it's just been made recently, I don't know, but it only cost me $2. So I don't know. And then a couple of tablecloths. This is always a lovely one. I've seen this one a couple of times. Is that $4 for that one? And then this one has a beautiful pattern on it, beautiful floral down the bottom there. You'll like this one, Sarah. So, and that one was only $3. So yeah, lovely bits there that I use in my slow stitch. And the other fabulous thing I had in my slow stitching was, I met a lady a wee while ago at a craft fair, and she was making these beautiful dressing gowns, bathrobes out of vintage sheets. So I stopped and had a chat to her and asked her what she did with all her offcuts, because it explained to her I did slow stitch and I probably only needed small bits and things. And anyway, she messaged last weekend to say that she had a bag, would I be interested? So yeah, straight away we went over and picked them up off her, which was really kind of her to give them to me. And honestly, this whole, I've popped them in this bag. This whole bag is full of vintage sheet offcuts and yeah, lots of different sizes and cut on the bias. I love this one, pink one with flower. So yeah, that's a bit of tidying up and get through those one day. But what I did actually when I was away last week was I really like this pieced cloth method of putting things together. So I've had, start here, I've got quite a few of these 4-patch blocks that I found in Stitch Kitchen, which is a local second hand, like reused, not reused, I don't want to call it an op shop because it's not really an op shop, but it's for sewing pieces and things, you know, fabric zips, cottons, patterns, and they run lots of classes for beginner sewers, and they're quite active, and it's all weighed and when you purchase things, so that they know how much they're keeping out of the landfill and passing on to people. So I had purchased a bag at their sale a couple of weeks ago, and in one of the bags was a whole lot of these 4 patches, so I thought they kind of went quite well with the vintage sheeting. So I have done a few blocks. Where's my other one here? Another one. Incorporating those 4 patches, and I'll put them together somehow one day. But I just loved the vintage sheeting. It's beautiful. This one here with the brownie coloured flowers, lovely. And a couple more. That one, love that big pink rose. And then some of the blocks were just in the two patches, so I've done some of those as well. So that's just kind of good. Sit in front of the telly, or if you've got 5 minutes to do something while dinner's cooking, or those kinds of things. Take away on holiday. So I've done those. I've also got a couple of books there, but one thing I have also made this month is my commonplace textile book, which is lovely. It's nice and squishy. And I saw Karen from Railway's Cottage Studio. She did a lovely textile book that she used a newer piece of quilt, because like her, we can't get old quilts, cutter quilts in New Zealand. It's just really, the only quilts I see in op shops and things are maybe 80s, I want to say, so the brighter colours, and maybe some I Spy ones and things like that, never anything vintage. So I decided I would do one and call it my Textile Commonplace book. Now, a commonplace book is historically is a book, and I think it's been done for a long time, where you put maybe if you're reading a book, you put passages you like in, you put quotes, you put poems, and it's just a place to keep all of those things that you like and you maybe one day might like to use, or yeah. So I thought that would also work for textiles, and given, like my green scissors, they're gorgeous, aren't they? Given that I end up with things like this basket full of bits and pieces that I've cut out to try and use. It's a flower off a tablecloth. It's a cross stitch I cut up the other day because wasn't going to use that. Just bits of fabric and things that I would put them in here. So I've started putting bits and pieces in. This was a temperature quilt I was going to do, but decided not to. This was a doily I cut up. I got that string on something the other day and thought that was quite nice. I put it on there. These are just salvages, and I've just sewn them in kind of with one stitch, so that if I wanted to take them out and use them in something, I could do that. These are some bits, other bits I like, you know. That wee bit I cut something out and that wee rose was left and I liked it, so that goes in there. So there's just a few pages. I think I did 2 signatures, maybe with 5 pages each. And I'll just stitch bits and pieces in. I'm in the process of stitching that blue flower in at the moment. And I'll use ticking. Love that floral fabric on that side. So yeah, that was a bit of doily, no, tray cloth actually that I cut up. I did do a bit of a video on this, so you'll see that, but for anyone who's new, that's what this is. So yeah, actually that's a chicken scratch, around the right way, chicken scratch heart that I did, that it's never found a home, so it might go in there too. So there, that was another thing that I made since my last video. The other new book I've got, not this one, I already had this one, I found it in an op shop, was this Granny Chic book, and this is by Dottie Angel. I think her name is Fussell, Fussell, and Rachel Blondell did this one. It's just full of just beautifulness, really. Puppy dog. So much inspiration just looking through beautiful photography and images. And lovely. And I think Rachel and Sarah showed those, and I've always looked around for the second book, volume 2 in the series. She's called it the Suitcase series. Dotty Angel. And someone posted on the Facebook page that they got it, did get a copy of it, that beautiful fabric, but it was in Japanese. So I went on to Amazon Japan and found it in Japanese. So I don't know whether this is an older one, whether, I'm not 100% sure. I think it came out in, no, I can see a year. Oh, hang on. Japanese edition was published in Japan 2013. That lovely apron. So, yeah, I was quite excited to get that. I haven't had a good look through it yet, but that'll be on my list of things, books to read. Books to read, I've done all of that. And then my other big project is my coverlet that I'm doing along with the Roxy Creations girls, Rachel and Sarah. And the project's Roxy's Journal of Stitchery, and this one is called Gathered Things, and I'm doing a quilt or coverlet. So I've got written down here which prompts I did. So I think number 7 was embroidered by me, and I used this piece here, which I've had floating around my sewing room for quite a while, and I think it was a Christmas, I think I even did it before COVID, it's been here for ages, a Christmas piece, and it never sort of fitted in. I decided to get brave and cut around it, and once I cut around it, it's like, oh, it actually fits in there, it's not a big square anymore, and so I popped it in there with another few things. I'd embroidered an initial earlier on this year, so I put that in there. The next prompt was trims, which I've got around here, and that's that heart I did with all those beautiful trims. I love that one there, it's got such a nice feeling to it too. So that was my heart of trims. The next one was something gifted, and I've got a couple of things, or 3 things here. This beautiful piece here was given to me by a friend I've made on Instagram called Nairi Bartlam. If you go and have a look at her page, she does such beautiful work. The squirrel was given to me at a workshop by Rachel, and Sarah gave me and it was in a pack, the Suffolk Puff. So I've popped those things on, and when I've done each prompt, I've also included a bow, so the bow kind of is travelling through each prompt and what I'm doing. So last week's one was Makes Me Happy, and I decided to pop on cross stitch because cross stitch makes me happy, and this was the Gertrude Groschel sampler. Who was that by? I think that's by European Reproduction Samplers too. And I started it because I was into 4-sided stitch, and there's a lot of 4-sided stitch. For anyone who doesn't know, if you have a wee look in that band there, you can see the wee squares. That's a 4-sided stitch. But anyway, I kind of got that far on it and decided that I wasn't in love with it anymore. I think it was the fabric that I did, the linen that I'd used. It just, yeah. So I got brave and cut that up too and put that in there. So this is coming along really nicely. I think I've also down the bottom, sewing on some of the hexagons that'll go all around. We just got a new prompt this morning, and that was favourite colour. So I'll show you sort of bits of it. It's very hard to show you. I almost need to stand up and let's see if that will work. I'll stand up and let it fall down a wee bit. It's probably a wee bit easier. Take it all in. So I've got a bit at the bottom left and another 11 prompts I think to go. 11? Yeah, it must be. Last week was 10, today's 11. So yeah, get my favourite colour on there somehow. I'm not sure whether that'll be pink or blue or green. Maybe green. I really like, sorry, stretch across. I really like this green that's around at the moment. So maybe something in that. But anyway, that's for later. So I think I've done all my bits that I stitched on. Done the samplers, the slow stitch and the quilting. Yeah. So that's that. The plan in the next few weeks. I'm away for a trip to Nelson for a few days. So I'll just take some easy hand stitching for that. I might take my mini quilt away and do that. Yeah, just continue on Antoinette, hopefully. Hopefully I only show you her for another month. And yeah, maybe start a new cross stitch. I'm not sure. The new Scarlet Letter one with the 4 sort of animal, Victorian kind of animal pieces. I maybe start one of those, I'm not sure. And yeah, and enjoy hopefully a bit of summer weather that might be coming our way. Hopefully it's all as lovely as it is out there today when we go away on our trip. So thanks for watching and happy stitching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.